Welcome back to the channel USD Coins to another fascinating deep dive into the hidden treasures of American numismatics. Today, we'll unravel the extraordinary story of a seemingly ordinary piece of change, the 1966 Liberty Quarter Dollar, and explore how this coin, which was once merely worth 25 cents, has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike with rumors and reports of it being valued at over $12.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin smaller than the palm of your hand, minted for general circulation, is now believed to be worth more than most luxury homes, sports cars, or even retirement funds. How did this happen? Why is this coin, from a year not even commemorative or rare by historic standards, being discussed in numismatic circles as one of the most valuable quarters ever created by the United States Mint? Join us as we take a journey back in time, into the intricacies of minting, the errors that elevate coins into the stratosphere of value, and the mythology and mystery surrounding the legendary 1966 Liberty Quarter Dollar. To truly appreciate the significance of this coin, we have to understand the context in which it was created. The year 1966 was a transitional period for the United States Mint. Just 2 years prior, in 1964, the U.S. government had made a significant change in coinage composition. Due to rising silver prices and hoarding concerns, it was decided that dimes and quarters would no longer be minted in 90% silver. Beginning in 1965, quarters were composed of a clad combination of copper and nickel. This move to clad coinage marked a turning point in modern numismatics. With these changes came growing pains, experimentation, equipment recalibration, and a number of anomalies that would eventually manifest as valuable mint errors. Although the official design of the quarter remained the same, the obverse featuring the profile of George Washington and the reverse showing the iconic heraldic eagle, the shift in metal composition required updated minting procedures. The new coinage bore no mint marks in 1965, 1966, or 1967, as the mint temporarily suspended the use of mint marks to discourage collectors from hoarding new coins during this period of transition. This decision alone already sets the 1966 quarter apart from many of its predecessors and successors. But that's just the beginning. So, what could make a 1966 quarter worth millions? The answer lies in the world of mint errors, unintentional anomalies that occur during the production of coins, making them unique and, in some cases, incredibly valuable. While most 1966 quarters are worth face value or slightly more in high grades, a very small number have been identified with errors so rare that they defy belief. These errors include double strikes, off-center strikes, transitional errors, die clashes, planchet errors, and in the rarest cases, wrong metal compositions. Let's explore each of these errors and examine how they might appear in a 1966 quarter and why they make certain specimens so desirable. One of the most notable categories of mint errors is the double strike. This happens when a coin fails to eject properly after the first strike and receives a second, sometimes even third, imprint from the dies. The result can range from a slight blurring or doubling of the design to a dramatic overlapping of features. A double-struck 1966 quarter with a clean and evident second impression could easily command thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars depending on condition and clarity. Combine that with other rare anomalies, and suddenly the value multiplies. Another intriguing error that has surfaced in 1966 quarters is the off-center strike. This occurs when a coin is not correctly aligned within the press, resulting in a partial or misaligned impression. The degree of off-centeredness matters significantly. A coin that is only 5% off-center may not attract much attention, but one that is 50% or more off-center while still retaining a full date and partial design can become extremely desirable. An off-center 1966 quarter with strong eye appeal, crisp details, and a readable date is the kind of piece that can turn heads at major coin auctions, but even more fascinating is the concept of transitional errors. Transitional errors occur when a coin is struck using materials or dies that are inconsistent with its official specifications. Given that 1966 was a period of transition from silver to clad coinage, some rumors and unconfirmed reports suggest that a few quarters from this year were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964 or 1965. If a 1966 quarter were discovered to be made of 90% silver, it would be a significant numismatic anomaly, a true transitional error. Such a find would be considered ultra-rare, with only a handful possibly existing. Coins of this type, confirmed via non-destructive testing methods like XRF, X-ray fluorescence, could easily be valued in the high 6 or even 7 figures, depending on condition and provenance. Then we have the phenomenon of die clashes and die breaks. A die clash occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing the design of each die to impress upon the other. This leads to visible remnants of one side's design appearing on the other. A strong die clash on a 1966 quarter could lead to ghost-like images, for instance, a faint eagle appearing behind Washington's head, a fascinating and collectible mistake. Die breaks, also known as cut errors, occur when a portion of the die chips away, leading to raised, blob-like areas on the coin. Both of these errors are highly prized among collectors, especially when they are dramatic and well-defined. Another significant class of error involves planchet anomalies, that is, problems with the blank metal disc before it is even struck by the dies. This includes lamination errors, where layers of the coin's metal flake or peel off, clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a miscut blank, or wrong planchet errors, where a quarter design is struck on a blank meant for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. There have been examples in U.S. coinage history where quarter designs have appeared on nickel or dime-sized planchets, or even coins struck on foreign planchets used in U.S. territories or allied nations. A 1966 quarter mistakenly struck on the wrong planchet could be a true numismatic unicorn. Now, let's talk about the most tantalizing aspect of all, the claim that a 1966 quarter may be worth $12.5 million. While this number is likely based more in myth and speculation than verified auction results, it stems from the belief that a specimen exists with a combination of the rarest attributes, possibly struck in silver, featuring multiple mint errors, and preserved in mint state or proof-like condition. Some coin enthusiasts theorize that during the chaos of the mid-1960s minting overhaul, a test strike or presentation piece may have been created using silver planchets, special dies, and high-pressure equipment intended for proofs, and that such a coin, unaccounted for and potentially smuggled or misplaced, now exists in private hands. Whether or not such a specimen has truly surfaced is still a matter of debate. No major grading service like PCGS or NGC has publicly certified a 1966 quarter with a valuation anywhere near that range. However, the allure of the unknown and the possibility that such a piece could be hiding in a junk drawer, old collection, or estate sale continues to drive interest and speculation. The mere idea that a rare and perfect error coin from a common year could exist, and could change someone's life overnight, is part of what keeps collectors, treasure hunters, and dreamers fascinated with numismatics. As we dig deeper, it's important to address a key question: how can you tell if your 1966 quarter might be one of these rare and valuable specimens? First and foremost, start by inspecting the coin for weight. Regular 1966 clad quarters weigh approximately 5.67 grams, while silver quarters should weigh closer to 6.25 grams. A high-precision digital scale can be an essential tool here. If your quarter weighs significantly more or less than the standard, it could indicate a wrong planchet or metal composition. Next, look at the color and luster. Silver coins tend to have a brighter, more vibrant sheen than clad coins, which often dull over time. Edge reading can also be a clue. Silver quarters have a solid silver-colored edge, while clad coins reveal copper-colored layers. If your 1966 quarter has a completely silver edge and weighs on the high side, that's a major red flag, or in this case, a green flag. But beyond weight and composition, you should examine the strike quality. If the design is unusually sharp and reflective, your quarter may have been struck using proof dies or under special conditions. Any doubling of design elements, such as Washington's profile or the lettering, could indicate a double strike or a double die. Strong clashing marks, off-center designs, cuds, or lamination flaws are also worth noting. A coin that combines even 2 or 3 of these characteristics could be extremely valuable, and if yours combines multiple errors with potential metal composition anomalies, it's worth getting professionally evaluated. Collectors have often speculated that high-value coins like this don't just disappear, they end up hidden for decades in attics, collections, or forgotten bank rolls, only to resurface when someone decides to cash in old change. There's a romanticism to it, the idea that a fortune could be waiting inside a coffee can or old drawer, a reward for those who take the time to look. Today's episode is one that could change the way you look at your pocket change forever. You're about to uncover the fascinating journey of a seemingly ordinary coin, one that most people wouldn't think twice about. It's the 1979 Liberty Quarter Dollar, a coin minted in the United States, known widely as just another part of everyday currency. But hidden in its metal is a secret so powerful, so extraordinary, that it has reached an estimated value of $8.6 million. That's right, $8.6 million. How does a coin worth only 25 cents become a numismatic legend? The answer lies in the perfect storm of minting errors, rarity, historical context, and collector demand that have transformed this simple quarter into one of the most sought-after and priceless items in the world of coin collecting. Let's begin by stepping back into the year 1979. America was in a state of transformation. The country was moving into the last quarter of the 20th century with rapid changes in culture, technology, and politics. The coinage of that era was equally reflective of these shifts. In 1979, the U.S. Mint was producing coins with high efficiency. However, with that scale of production, the chances of errors slipping through the cracks increased significantly. Among these, the quarter minted in 1979 became a quiet anomaly. It wasn't until years later that collectors began to notice something very different, something highly unusual, about specific quarters from that year. What makes this particular coin, the 1979 Liberty Quarter, stand out so dramatically among billions of other coins? At first glance, nothing seems unusual. The obverse features the familiar image of George Washington, as it has since 1932. The reverse, likewise, displays the heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows and flanked by olive branches. The word "Liberty" stands boldly above Washington's head, while "In God We Trust" rests to the left. United States of America and "Quarter Dollar" wrap around the eagle. These are all standard designs and inscriptions that don't indicate anything out of the ordinary. But it's in the details, imperfections, anomalies, and production quirks, that the secrets lie. Some of the most prominent and valuable versions of the 1979 quarter come from mint errors, mistakes made during the coin's creation that render them incredibly rare. Minting errors can include a wide range of production issues such as double strikes, off-center strikes, die clashes, planchet errors, and issues with the mint mark. In the case of the $8.60 million valued 1979 quarter, it's believed that a combination of several unique features came together, making it a one-of-a-kind piece, or at the very least, part of an ultra-limited group of flawed but fascinating coins. One of the most talked-about errors involves the mint mark. In 1979, quarters were struck at different mints across the country, each identified by a small letter, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mark at all for Philadelphia. The San Francisco Mint typically produced proof coins, which are high-quality, highly polished examples intended for collectors rather than general circulation. These proof coins often carried the S mint mark. However, due to a mispunch or misalignment during the die production process, some quarters received what's known as a filled S or blob S. This means that the mint mark is not crisp and defined as it should be. Instead, it appears as a blob, or misshapen figure, dramatically reducing the number of coins with this flaw, but this is only the beginning. Another critical error contributing to the coin's extreme value involves the die pairing. In one particularly valuable specimen, it is believed that an obverse die intended for one mint facility was mistakenly paired with a reverse die meant for another. This type of mismatched die pairing can create an entirely unintentional hybrid coin. A hybrid die pairing results in a minting oddity that is almost impossible to replicate, and when coupled with a proof finish or high-grade strike, it becomes not just rare but legendary. Then there's the issue of the planchet, the blank metal disc that becomes the coin once it's struck. In some 1979 quarters, the coin was struck on a planchet meant for a completely different denomination. For instance, there have been reports of 1979 quarters struck on nickel or even foreign coin planchets. These types of errors are extremely rare because planchet misfeeds are typically caught during quality control. But when they slip through and make their way into circulation, they are essentially freak accidents. The very rarity of such events skyrockets their value among collectors. Furthermore, there are double die errors, where the image on the coin appears to be duplicated slightly due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This error can be found in the lettering, numbers, and even Washington's profile. In some instances, this doubling is so vivid and dramatic that it's noticeable without magnification. A 1979 quarter with strong doubling in the date, the word liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust," would be considered an incredibly rare and desirable find. Adding to all this is the condition of the coin. Coin collectors use a grading scale that ranges from poor, barely identifiable, to mint state, uncirculated, pristine. Coins that are graded at the highest levels, especially MS 67, MS 68, or even a perfect MS 70, are virtually flawless. A 1979 quarter exhibiting significant mint errors that is also graded at these upper levels can exponentially increase in value. Such coins are often stored in protective holders by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, ensuring their condition remains intact over the decades. Then there's the historical and psychological aspect of collecting. Collectors often chase after items that represent a perfect storm of rarity, error, and condition. When you add in the mystique of an unassuming coin being worth millions, it turns into a cultural artifact. The $8.6 million valuation is not arbitrary, it's a reflection of intense bidding wars, private sales among elite collectors, and the kind of buzz that only a truly unique piece can generate. Some believe the high value might also be influenced by a private collector's desire to own a perfect storm coin, a piece that encapsulates multiple types of errors, in pristine condition, with verifiable provenance. There are also theories that this particular 1979 quarter could be part of a special experimental run. Sometimes, the U.S. Mint will test new dyes, metals, or techniques in a limited production setting. If a few of these experimental coins make it out of the facility, either by accident or through intentional but undocumented release, they become legendary. Numismatic circles often buzz with rumors about such test strikes, especially from the late 70s and early 80s when the mint was experimenting with different alloy compositions in anticipation of changes to other coins like the penny and the Susan B. Anthony dollar. This particular coin story becomes even more compelling when you consider its journey. Most rare coins of great value are discovered not in treasure chests or buried boxes, but in circulation, through chance. Imagine the possibility that someone handed over this coin for a candy bar, a bus fare, or a cup of coffee. It might have sat in a cash register, passed from hand to hand, until someone with a keen eye and a bit of knowledge realized they were holding onto something extraordinary. That kind of Cinderella story fuels the dreams of collectors worldwide and keeps the excitement of coin hunting alive. What really pushes the value into the multi-million-dollar range, though, is a confluence of factors. First is the documented existence of the coin, verified by professional graders and auction houses. Second is the ultra-rarity of its features, errors that may never occur together again in any other coin. Third is its pristine condition, preserved in a way that defies time. Fourth is its cultural and historic significance, acting as a symbol of everything that makes coin collecting magical. And fifth is demand, pure, unfiltered, collector-driven demand. When high-net-worth individuals are willing to outbid each other to obtain such a piece, the price can climb to seemingly unreal levels, and let's not forget the role of mystery. There's still so much unknown about this coin. How many were made? Are there others like it? Will another surface one day from a dusty jar, a forgotten drawer, or a grandparent's collection? The unanswered questions only fuel the coin's mystique and potential value. Every collector holding a 1979 quarter now looks at it with renewed hope. Could it be the one? Could it be worth millions? This story isn't just about one coin, it's about the possibility that something as simple as a quarter could hold a fortune. It's about paying attention to the details. It's about the art and science of numismatics and the thrill of the hunt. And most of all, it's about never underestimating the value of what's right in front of you. So next time you get change back, take a moment. Look at your quarters. Look closely. What mint mark do you see? Is it a blob or a clear letter? Are there doubling effects on the words or numbers? Is the coin off-center? Is it unusually heavy or light? Could it be struck on the wrong metal? Each of these clues could point you toward a discovery that changes your life.